brought my printer.
You must have this big check you carry around.
Well,
Yeah, we were hoping we could take pictures.
the
Check.
oh yeah, the big foam check. Yes, absolutely. We're working on that part of it.
Yes, yes.
Like a friend of mine, her husband wanted to take his money with him. She said, "Okay, I'll write you a check when you die. I'll write you a check and put in the cash, and you cash it when you get where you."
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, thank you for having me here today. Let me kind of barge in last minute and speak. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brian Kahn, representing House District 32, which has changed a little bit from its previous two iterations. So back when Representative Garrison had this district, it represented Warren County, Vance County, parts of Granville County. It recently changed when Representative Saltzman had it to represent all of Vance County and parts of Granville County. Now we represent all of Granville County and parts of Vance County. So the city of Henderson north up through Middleburg and Lake Country. So eventually, I think in the next couple cycles, we'll probably be down near Fayetteville, but we're just on a slow ride down 85. But nevertheless, we are here. So couple key things that as we started session this week, I want to remind everyone the primary focus of the General Assembly moving forward the next few weeks will be Western North Carolina and the unprecedented devastation. I had the opportunity to spend some time last weekend with representatives of Hayward County and Mitchell County, amongst others, some of their school board members, community college presidents, county managers, and so forth, to understand the level of need that's out there, and it is substantial. It's almost mind-boggling the amount of work that has to be done. So the General Assembly has their the full attention of Western North Carolina currently. That will, of course, mean that our rainy day funds and other areas we're going to have to tighten the belts probably a little bit. I would expect as we move through the long session, which is 2025. Short session, hopefully we'll have things somewhat organized by then, and we can figure out a few things. Some of the key priorities that my office and I have for Vance County ultimately fall sort of in two camps. One being water infrastructure and making sure that we can continue with the projects that have been started at the Carr Lake Water Plant and be able to continue infrastructure upgrades across this county and have those projects continue forward without any disruption. Second piece would be obviously the detention center. I know you guys talked about that this morning. I have begun drafting legislation in my office. We started this week on basically trying to carve out some money for the detention center in Vance County. That is a high priority. That's an area that I feel like that if we're going to be able to ask for money, that's a great place for us to start and try to get some dollars to the county. So it is my understanding when I showed up where everyone was in lunch that you guys are moving forward probably with an RFP process. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so in parallel, we're going to try to make sure we can help find some resources and some dollars to support that as you guys go through that process. This will not be you got to use it for a brand new center, whatever you guys decide as a board. We want to make sure we're there to support you with the right dollars. So it might be a multi-prong approach, might be some dollars from Department of Justice, might be some dollars coming out of state funding. But nevertheless, we want to try to make sure we find some dollars and we bring you that big foam check here sooner rather than later. But those are the two key priorities I think that we have as we move through the spring of this year. It is also my intention and my office's attention to have some visits with DOT to talk about the I-85 corridor, the US 1 corridor, and of course the S line, to see what type of long-term capital projects need to make sure we have those the attention of DOT, and we're not sort of left behind on any upgrades there. So it's particularly important as we get south into Granville County and close to Durham County border, some of the highest capacity sections of I-85, from Birmingham to Richmond. It's an area that's of concern, which directly impacts Henderson. There's a lot of traffic coming through. So we want to make sure that we are on their radar for road widening projects and bridge replacements and overall road infrastructure upgrades along the US 1 and I-85 corridors. And this would be like for their 10-year sort of capital project planning, make sure we're not forgotten, which tends to be the case sometimes. When you get outside of the great state of Wake County, they tend to forget about us. And I jokingly say the great state of Wake County because I feel like they always seem to get all the money. But those are our key priorities. I met with the county manager earlier in the week just to, go through introductions and so forth. And as I said to the county manager, I'll say to you guys, my legislative philosophy, if you will, is to follow the lead of this board. You guys have the finger on the pulse of Vance County. You guys know what Vance County needs. You have your priorities. My job is to support those needs and to support the priorities of this board to make sure that we can move together. It's not to compete or for me to dictate on high to this board what they should or should not be doing. So we want to make sure that we foster a spirit of communication and cooperation, and that my office is available to this board as needed to address any issues that come up and to support your goals as a board as you guys move through the next couple of years. So with that, I will leave it to any questions, but otherwise turn it back over to you guys to carry on with your agenda.
But I just want to thank you that that you see and you're concerned about the needs of Vance County, and that you want to make sure that our county is part of, what's needed, that you've given us what we need. I really want to appreciate and thank you for doing that.
You're
Because
absolutely,
there is a great need and every bit helps. And so I just
Absolutely.
really want to thank you for that.
well, as you may or may not know, I sat where you sat. I've been a board member, I've been a commissioner for the town of Oxford, and I know that the burden is heavy on your board to make decisions and to do things, and you need support, not someone wagging a finger in your face, telling what you can and cannot do.
Mm.
So that's why I come with the approach that I come with, because at the end of the day, the General Assembly and the U.S. Congress, our responsibility is to get you the resources that you need. You guys are the ones that have to take those resources and go out there and execute it.
Yes.
You're ultimately responsible for how those dollars and how those programs are executed out there. So government, you are government. You are the ones who make sure you're taking care of people, and our job is to support you. I take that approach seriously. So it is my honor and my duty to make sure that we support those things. So I appreciate that.
Can I ask you, based on like what Commissioner Chairman Pinkston said in terms of your interest in Vance County? But we've seen this district flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And I want to know how you feel in terms of coming in as the new guy on the block, as how you are being perceived, because a lot of times when you're new, in terms of what you're questioning, what you're trying to get, what you're asking for is low on the totem pole.
Mhm.
So what's your feel that you have right now in terms of how you're being perceived in terms of the direction which you want to advocate for your district?
It's a great question. I'm the junior member of the minority party in a very competitive district. So my first response is I don't care what the perception is. I think when you walk into a room and you can clearly articulate, hey, these are the problems that we have. These are not partisan problems. When we talk about a detention center, that's not a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. That's a community issue. That's something that this county needs.
Because the detention affects.
Affects
your
everybody.
District. It affects your whole
Exactly.
district.
We try to focus on the issues that I feel like we can get support in. And again, this county is represented by a delegation. And my delegation, between Lisa Barnsley on the Senate side and my colleague, Matt Winslow, my intent is to continue to communicate with their offices and say, hey, here's what we're hearing, here's what we're seeing. What do you think? What do we feel like we need to get accomplished? And where can we have some help from your offices to move those through? And that's where it's a spirit of cooperation. We can campaign when it's campaign season, but right now we have to get to work season. And doesn't matter if you got an R by your name or a D by your name, it's time to go to work. but I carry forward the same attitude I had when I was a commissioner. Sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So I'm gonna keep walking in those rooms. I'm gonna keep, you know, banging my head against those walls until someone tells me not to, and then I'll just keep doing it again anyway. But I think when you're in these positions, you can't be a wilting lily. You can't say, "Well, I'm the new guy. I better not go stir nothing." Go stir it up. What are they gonna do? They ain't gonna fire me anyway. You can't do that. So my philosophy is just to be persistent and be respectful and make sure that we are at the end of the day, we're advocating clearly what we need to get done for Vance County and for Granville County and in my colleagues' cases, their respective counties is that they're responsible for outside of Vance. So we'll continue to fight. And we started that day one. We in talking with the county manager and talking with the respective city managers around the district, we had some concerns around downzoning and some laws that were passed last year that affect the way you guys can effectively zone. There was a unintended consequence of some bad bill writing practices last year where they were trying to get some stuff through. We're going back and correcting that. I co-sponsored that. And just to be sure, we wrote a bill specifically for Vance County and Granville County. Should that bill fail, we will still have a local bill out there so that this county will not suffer because of somebody else's foolishness. And that's kind of my approach, is continue to make sure we're advocating for our districts and our counties respectively, and then we're communicating that with you guys. So that's just sort of my general approach.
Appreciate the goals that you talked about. One thing we've had really good support on in the past couple of years, and we need flexibility on it, is we're trying to get a behavioral health center here for our people with outpatient center and also to do some additional things. We've allocated some money. We thought the project was going to happen. It's changed course a little bit, but still we're going to need those funds. And so if we can continue to get the support for that, that would be good.
Absolutely. Happy to. And if you guys have any specifics around that project that you previously worked on, please send it over to my office. I'd be happy to take a look at it. Anything involving outpatient services and so forth, or top priorities. I've already had the opportunity to meet with some folks from both UNC and Duke Health Systems, and we continue to meet with other folks. We'll be meeting with Mariah Parham as well as Granville Health. Again, just to talk about the lack of services that we have across the entire district. We are in a bit of a desert when it comes to that. So it's something that I'm keen on as well. So we're happy to pick up the mantle and continue working on some of those items that you may have already started.
The rural counties are particularly challenged with availability of mental health services.
Yes.
The definitions are different.
Yep.
If you live in an urban area, you have to be within 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
For us, we have to be within 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's kind of an unlevel playing field, and whatever support we can get.
One of the ideas that I've had, just kind of give you an idea where I'm starting in that general direction. I took a look at some legislation that was written in Texas, of all places. And in Texas, there's quite a few rural counties, but one of the bills that they have worked through their House and Senate that I quite like requires insurers to bring parity between minimums in their health plan and their mental health plan, so that it's on level. It's on the same sort of playing field. That level of parity does a couple of things. It allows providers, whether it's Duke, UNC, Mariah Parham, Granville Medical, et cetera, to invest in those services because they know that there's insurance money out there to pay for those services, and it allows them the ability to invest in those in rural counties. Because just like any business, if you don't think you're going to make any money somewhere, why would you invest in it? And that's a bit of the problem we have within the medical world. Is it's hard to invest in those type of services if there's no way to get paid for those services. And it can't all fall on the county health department to be able to provide the services because there's just not enough staff and resources within those departments to cover it all. So one of the first blocks that my office is going to try to work on is bringing parity between the minimum coverage requirements between your general health plan, your medical plan, as well as mental health services. So that way we've got some parity, which brings some stability to the marketplace, which allows those providers to continue to invest in those resources in the existing facilities that we have and to introduce new. So I concur. And if there's, again, anything with the particular projects that you guys have discussed in the past, we're happy to take a look at those and continue moving those forward.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome.
Thank
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'll hang out for a little bit and listen to y'all duke it out a little bit.
You came earlier.
Right. So the next thing on the agenda is revaluation cycle, possible cycle change. I've heard several commissioners express concerns for the 8-year reval cycle based off of what we experienced for this year. And there is a form in your packets that just outlines which counties are doing some, or, you know, I guess the years for each county, the year of latest reappraisal and the next schedule appraisal for the 100 counties in North Carolina. And right now, there are 30 counties that are still at the 8-year mark. All other 70 counties are doing something less than 8 years. So if you all wanted to explore something less than 8 years, just be mindful that the budgetary impact would be about $700,000. So if you were to do a reval, what's wrong?
It's not in our packet.
We just got the sheet.
Is it
Oh.
on
It is. It's actually,
There's one sheet, right?
it is. It's in the back of your financials sheet. So look at the last sheet in your financials. It has each county's tax rate. I guess it's in the wrong spot. It's okay. Because it has property tax rates and reappraisal schedules. The last sheet in it's right before, it's actual budget discussion. I'm sorry. It's right before financials. It's the sheet right before your financials tab.
The reval?
No, at the top it says 24, 25 property tax rates and reappraisal schedules for North Carolina County. You got it? Got it. There. It's both. It's tax rates and reval. It's both of them. Y'all see it?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, okay. So that just outlines each county's designation as far as reappraisal years. So if you all wanted to explore something different, just be mindful that the budgetary impact would be about $700,000. So if you choose every 6 years, and the $700,000 is the cost right now. So I don't know what that would look like if you all decided to do something in 6 years. It might be more.
Like every 4 years, there's still gonna be 700,000 versus 6 years, it's gonna be 700. Okay.
Correct. That's right. That's right.
But I know we need to change it from 8. That's my
Mhm.
opinion, it's just too long.
First off, property tax rates, this chart is difficult because people are in different stages of evaluation.
Mhm.
Like last year, we were number 96.
And this year was 69.
69.
Right.
And that's a change because we had revival.
Mhm.
So
Correct.
the organization, the counties that are in a different, that are coming up next year
Mhm.
are gonna be the higher, and then they
Yeah, it'll adjust each year.
adjust.
Mhm.
But all in all, the values, the property tax rates, the values that are assigned do not change the base of it. And then it's just doing the math. We need, I think right now we're up to about $22 million, I think, in property tax per year.
That's about right.
In that
22.
range.
Mhm.
So in order to stay balanced, we've got to collect $22 million.
Mhm.
The only thing a reval does is it demonstrates any change in growth within your county. And so, in the 2016 evaluation, a lot of people had moved out. Values had gone down inside of Henderson, in the city of Henderson. So those values going down, it made some of the tax basis go more out towards the southern part of the county, which is growing, where there were more sales. And then correspondingly, it went to the lake, to some of the lake properties. This last reval continued to demonstrate more growth in the southern part of the county. So those values are a little higher than what they were. But all in all, it doesn't really change anything other than you're spending 700,000 or whatever you spend, got 700,000, and then we have another 232,000 that we paid in addition just for,
40 in our
you know,
meetings.
people
Mhm.
appealing. So you're pushing $1 million. And that $1 million is taxpayers' money, and it really doesn't change anything as far as the structure of how it goes. This last time was kind of an anomaly because there was a dramatic growth during COVID of the price of housing. And that happened all over the country. But relative to the rest of it, there's really not a lot of growth in it. So we don't have, 10% increases every year. We're not in Wake County. And so we just need to measure that and look at that as we look at the cost of what we're doing and what the cost is to the county and also the benefit that we derive from it. It doesn't increase the amount of taxes that we get. There's no mechanism in there that pays for that service for the reval that makes it any better, other than we spend $1 million every 6 years or an extra $1 million every 6 years or whatever it is. And so we just need to look at that.
And we could also do a cost analysis to see what it looks like to bring it in-house and have staff in-house. But I think the other concern would be, would they be busy on years that are not reval years? I think that would be the concern. So we could do a cost analysis and do a comparison. I guess the $700,000 compared to what if we actually had staff in-house handling that as well. So
Is there anybody who does it in-house?
Halifax County, the county that I've worked in before, does it, and they only contract out for commercial. Yes, sir.
So when they do it in-house, the person they have employed what's the salary?
I'm not sure. I would have to get that information, but they're every 4 years now. They changed in 2020.
Every 4 years, that person is doing it.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. So that essentially, if you do every 4 years, those staff members are always in reval because they're always having to go out and assess. So, and it takes 4 years for those staff members to do that if you're a 4-year cycle.
How many staff members do they have?
I don't know. I'll have to get that information.
Fine now, back to what Dan said in terms of
Yeah.
not spending every 4 years, $750,000 to do it. But if we had somebody in-house
Mhm.
that we could reduce the cost
Mhm.
substantially,
Right.
I'd be willing to look at it.
Okay. Okay. And just trying to see how
be
many
willing to
staff
look
members
at
we
it.
would actually
I'm
need.
just saying, I would,
Right.
now let me say I would be willing, because I say that sounds like I'm the only one look. I'd like for us to look at it.
Okay.
I'd
Yeah,
like
we
for
can
us
do
to
that and
look
get a
at it.
cost comparison for you all.
Cost
That's not a
compare
problem.
And see.
Yeah.
Because based on what he's saying and everything,
Next year.
that had we not been up on it in terms of, this board and I came on, never wanted to raise taxes.
Mhm.
But had we looked at it and said, okay, a penny here or half a cent here,
Mm.
we would not be where we are right now. And so back to what Dan's saying is to figure a way not to have that $750,000 cost. We
Right.
could do something to do in-house so that we don't have to do that $750,000 and that it's an ongoing process.
Mhm.
I'd like for us to look at it.
Okay.
Well,
I
you
can
look,
do that.
I believe Vincent had 4 people doing appraisals, correct?
I think so. I think it was 4.
You're talking about 4 people,
Mhm.
and you're talking about keeping them every year. And if you pay an appraiser, you're probably looking $60,000-$70,000 a year plus a vehicle, riding around. So you're gonna have 75, just say $75,000. That's $300,000 a year. And so $300,000 a year over 4 years, it's 1.2
But are you
million
saying $300,000 for somebody to do it in-house or you know,
in-house.
in-house, that's what it's gonna cost us in-house?
What it would
Are you saying you saying 4 staff members,
have
right?
4 staff members, and you've got to do your reval in this period of time. You start in the end of 23 doing the field work. And then, as you move into the later part of 24, that's when you start getting your comps.
So you said $300,000 a year?
Yes, for staff, if you've got.
If
you got
we
3
needed
appraisals,
4, yeah, if we needed 4. Mhm.
and, we've
That
got,
ain't gonna work either then.
No,
Right.
that's a lot.
That ain't gonna, pardon my
Right.
English, that ain't
Yeah.
gonna work either.
Well, let me let me do research. Let me do a little bit more research to see how many staff members would be needed and things of that nature, and more definitive numbers to bring back to the board for you all to consider.
Well, It's always good to look. It's
Yeah,
always good to
absolutely,
compare.
and
It's
do a
always good to
comparison.
look.
So it's
Yeah.
also like 700,000 4 years versus 8,000, I mean, 8 years, then we spend what, $14,000 because it's 700,000 every year, right?
No.
No, he said
It would
three.
be-
And so if we do four,
Every time-
so it's 700,000 for that 4 years.
And would be 700
700,000
for
for
8
8 years.
For the
years.
8 year, okay,
Right.
versus,
Mhm.
but if we could do every 4 years, we spending more, of course.
Yeah, you
because
would spend
again,
1.4 in 8
yeah,
years and you, right. Mhm.
Plus your appeal cost.
Right, yeah.
So
And,
Right at $1 million.
and to speak,
$1 million, yeah.
and to speak a little bit about what Commissioner Brahman said about 2020 and 2021 being their years that it's hard for us to actually say, I mean, we really know that was the reason for the market. So I think, I don't know, we'll have another year like that, but I think that was
COVID
for-
was the reason. COVID was the reason.
because the market, the way the market went with the housing, absolutely.
Just, let's go, if we'd gone back, if we'd been on 4 years
Mm-hmm,
and we'd done a reval in 2020,
mm-hmm,
and then we did another one in 2024,
Okay.
we would have had the same increase.
mm-hmm. We would
we had
have.
This past time.
That's true. That is true.
Okay.
That's true.
Because
It's
the
just bec-
market was
mhm.
relatively flat for the first 4 years, actually the first 5 years or 6 years.
Mhm.
And it was only that little 2-year window during COVID, the prices just took off.
Yeah.
So you saying your thought is
But
just.
then what are you saying to make sure I understand? in terms
He's
of-
trying to keep it at
So
8 years.
based on what Renee, and then what are you saying in terms of to do it every 8 years?
Every
Mhm.
8 years, that's what he still say, keep it like it is.
That's the minimum required by law. That's by the statute. You've got to do it at least every 8 years. And so you do that and that it keeps the cost down. And, if we were growing fast, if, Franklin County grew out next year and Kittrell just started exploding, then maybe that's something we need to
But based on
consider.
what you're saying, even if that happened, it's going to sort of balance itself out anyway, though, right?
Balances itself out. It's not, we've got to raise $22 million in property taxes. And it's just a matter of how you distribute.
So what you're saying, Renee, in terms of, then based on the fact that every 8 years, that saves the county money. But at the same time, as commissioners, we look at the value and maybe do an increase, a minimum increase in terms of taxes rate.
You don't have to wait until a reval year to do it.
Okay.
A lot of people do it because it tricks people, because you're looking at the revenue neutral and you can play with it and people don't understand the revenue neutral concept.
Mhm.
But we could go, just like this year, we're talking about maybe decreasing taxes.
Mhm.
It's a non-revenue, it's a non-appraisal year.
Mhm.
We can raise taxes a penny or lower taxes a penny or do whatever we want to do
right.
any year.
Mhm.
We don't have to wait for a
That's right.
reval year.
Yeah, the only thing that happens in the reval year is we have to publish the revenue neutral rate, but you don't have to adopt it.
Appreciate the discussion there, because I always thought in terms of reval, you had to increase taxes.
Oh, no, sir. No.
But doing this in terms of we do every 8 years and we visit it and say, okay, let's look at it in terms of what you just said, in terms of half% here, a penny here. As long as we get that amount of money, then we're okay.
That's right.
Okay.
I think.
I said in the reval year, we have to publish the revenue neutral rate, but we do not have to adopt it. Yeah, yes, ma'am. That's right. We have to, and we did that in our budget. Yeah. Yes.
So what are you asking now that we did?
So I think I've already received the direction that I received. Just do a comparison of possible in-house staff compared to the $700,000, or are you all thinking keeping it 8 years? What do you all want me to do?
You
Want me to still do the research? Okay.
And then, like I said, whenever, you present it to the board with the
Okay.
other commissioners here as well.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying,
State, Renee, what are they doing?
but they
What
do.
most places are doing?
There are 30 counties that are still 8 years and 70 counties that are doing something less than 8.
So what's the majority? Is it majority 4, 6, 8? Well, you say 38.
Yeah, I didn't break down.
Okay.
I didn't break, only breakdown I did was 8 years and it's only 30 counties. So 70 are doing something different. So the majority are not at 8.
So our surrounding counties, like, do you know what?
Mhm.
is on it doing?
So Warren County is 8 years and this is their reval year. Granville just switched to 6, I do believe.
I did tell, that somebody told me they did
Mhm.
6.
Halifax is 4. Franklin is 6. What else we got that's close to us? Person. Person County is 4. What county you say?
Lee County.
Lee County is 4. Yeah. So we'll do our research and get that information back to you all. Okay. What's next on the agenda?
The opioid settlement.
Oh, okay. So next, we're gonna just talk a little bit. We're just gonna touch on opioid settlement funds just a little bit. The last meeting that we had, I believe, was in May or June or July of 2024. And I just want a little bit more direction on what that next meeting should look like as far as a joint meeting, because the direction that we received was joint meeting, but I believe it was Board of County Commissioners as well as other stakeholders. So I just want to know what stakeholders actually means. And so Jeremy, and did you all discuss? You wanna do it real quick?
Again, so pretty much need direction as to where we're going to head as it relates to who the stakeholder is going to be, and how we're going to move about using these funds.
And Frankie can just share the amount that we received and we'll just go from there.
So far, we received 1,977,579. We have dispersed 0.
And
Renee, do you recall who was in that last meeting? We had the health, we had Lisa. Do you remember?
uh-huh. So Commissioner Brummett was there. Ms. Feemster was on the phone. You were there. The health department was there.
The register departments.
I can't
I'm
remember.
just trying to remember who was at that meeting.
Is everybody on there?
Yeah. So I think it's up here. The committee is Austin Fames and Feemster. Commissioner Brummett was there.
Had some other stakeholders I thought was
I'm
also.
not sure who was.
I can't remember.
Yeah, because the meeting was an opioid committee meeting, so
it
yeah.
was.
Mhm.
That was-
But others
talking
did,
about our annual meeting.
the committee meeting that we had last time.
We just had
The
one-
July 23rd
Mhm.
I know
was the
that-
last meeting.
And
But we had other people to join us. That's
Yeah.
what I was looking.
Mhm.
I believe-
think, yeah, you had probably the ladies from Granville County that's been showing up.
Mhm.
I believe the recommendation from the manager was to meet with EMS, Sheriff's Office, Jail Administrator, via Health, DSS, and Public Health, and start a conversation as to,
I think that's who we
Where we
asked
wanna
to
be.
come in and we
Okay.
never got to that part.
Okay, so you all want us to just do a joint meeting with the entire Board of Commissioners?
In my thoughts, yes, those
Yes.
people need to be at the table.
Okay.
But as far as the voting members of the committee, it needs to be
Mhm.
3 commissioners, although that serve on that committee.
Yeah, we got to look at a reassignment because Austin was on that committee. So we got to look at appointing someone on that committee. Okay, so you want us to schedule a meeting with the 3 commissioners and those partners and then bring recommendations back to the commissioners?
Yes.
The other part of it is that we're getting really close, hopefully, on this behavioral health center.
Okay,
We're actually looking at a facility right now and getting some, I guess, estimates from some contractors right now
okay.
and trying to negotiate a lease. And so if that happens, that's gonna take some opioid money to deal with that,
Mhm. Is that the same space that they were looking at before or is it a different space?
different space.
Okay, okay.
And we've got 2 options that we're looking at right now and waiting on, let's say the corporate entity to decide what they want for lease rates and those kind of things. And then we're pricing the outfit.
Okay, okay.
So that being the case, we're gonna need to have some skin in the game.
Mm.
Because we got the state has stepped up with several $1 million, has pledged several $1 million for to make this happen. And we're hoping to do this for adults and also for an adolescent facility.
That's great.
And so, and we have a tremendous need for kids in our community. And this will also be a regional thing, which, Granville County will be a part of it. And I believe they'll be bringing people also from Franklin County.
Okay, so is it more beds than what they originally planned for?
We'll still have the 16 beds,
Okay,
is what we planned for the adults, and then additional beds. Probably generally, most of the models are 16 beds because that's what it takes to make it cash flow.
okay.
So that's kind of where we're headed right now.
Okay.
And if we can get the lease done on that facility, if not, we've got some property we're looking at, which we may have to build something new.
Okay.
There's a facility in Alamance County that was just opened.
Mhm,
and a really nice facility.
mhm.
Alamance County ended up spending some of their opioid money, I believe, to make it happen.
Okay,
And they were also got some state dollars, so that would be something that, you know, I think we've got to be careful about overspending our money before we know the direction of that center, because that money should play an important part, because we are gonna have to help with security on that thing. And we know already that's been the issue with all of them, that we've got to have some security that's gonna support that being open 24/7.
okay. So staff will work to get that meeting scheduled. Are you okay? Are you all okay with March? So we can make it through February?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we'll plan for March and get everybody together.
That should give some time to finalize some of what's going
But
on.
Perfect. So March is okay?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right. Okay. Thank you,
Could
Frankie.
I
Thank you,
ask a
Jeremy.
question? Could I-
Oh, yes, sir.
I have a concern,
Yes.
nothing against the committee, nothing against the committee. As you know, in terms of we started listening to folks, you know, when we had public comment, we had a lot of people from the audience wanting to know what was being done with the money and stuff like that. I know Dan's real involved with VIA and so forth and et cetera. But I'd like for me to know a little bit about opioid money in terms of Franklin County, what they're doing, Granville County, what they're doing,
Mhm.
and the other counties. I really, in order to squelch negative comments from the public,
Mm.
I realized that when you met, you had some people from the health department, some people from EMS and stuff like that. But Dan, Carol, and I don't think anything wrong with you, but I'd like to see that committee with those folks having a chair at the table with you all. And so that when you make a decision, that decisions based on input from our commissioners that are on the committee and our people from the public, so that when you bring it back to the rest of us in terms of commission to approve what you have come up with, that it has been vetted, what it has been vetted.
But that's what we
so
just
that
said, stakeholders.
because what I'm getting is that you all, the three of the commissioners, are the final say so. And that's what am I missing something?
So the commissions that are appointed on the committee will have a conversation with the other stakeholders, and
Okay.
those recommendations come back to the entire Board of Commissioners.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
that opioid committee meeting will be an open advertised committee meeting, just like any other meeting that we would have.
People that were complaining to us.
Oh, absolutely. They'll be invited if they want to attend. Mhm. And we can even have it in this room so we can have more space.
But who's on the committee?
The committee right now is Commissioner Faines, Ms. Feimster, and it's a vacancy right now. And yeah, you should just have to be appointed, whoever you all decide. Yeah, so it's one vacancy right now.
But does this committee have to be, I'd like somebody else that deals with it, like someone from the health department,
So,
someone from the hospital to be part of that committee. What am I missing?
you're saying that you want to expand the committee and just, instead of
Like
just
expand the
inviting
committee
them
just
as
a little bit in terms of
stakeholders?
those
Okay.
Somebody from the hospital, somebody from that.
Mhm.
When I worked part-time at Lowe's, when folks came to the parking lot at Lowe's and shot themselves up in the parking lot,
Mhm.
EMS folks had to come and deal with it.
Right.
So Carolyn's not there in the parking lot, Dan's not there in the
Right.
parking lot, Valencia's not there, but someone from EMS is actually dealing with
Mhm.
with the person. So I'm just saying, I don't have a problem with the four commissioners being on it,
Mhm.
but I think that some of the other stakeholders that deal with it on a daily basis should be part of that committee.
Okay, so you're pretty much saying the people that are the boots on the ground being an
On
actual
the
part
ground and everything.
of the committee. I believe that the committee was established in 2023.
you
Ms.
came.
Feimster was chair.
Houston was chair and she established that.
Ms. Feimster established that committee in 2023 when she was chair. But if that's something that you all want to discuss changing as far as the,
I don't want to change. I'd like to grow the committee, just add
okay.
to the committee.
The
Please.
risk you run with that is you involve, which we've already said, we wanted, our EMS, those organizations, the sheriff and whatever. We've already said we wanted those, the health department, the list you gave a few minutes ago. Those people are on it. But the risk you run is there's only so much money. The money's front loaded, okay? Your first 3 years, you're getting these big amounts. And I think after year 3, we go down to about what, $297,000 a year, something like that.
I'm checking right now. Give me a second.
I think that's, and that might have adjusted because we just had the Harris Teeter settlement thing.
Mhm.
But other than that, the monies disappear after that. So you don't want to set yourself in a situation that you're burning all these monies, and then after year 3, we've got to go to the budget to continue the programs.
But having them would be, you wouldn't be burning the money. I just think it eliminates the possibility of negativeness from the community. I just said, maybe bring in 3 or 4 more stakeholders. That's all I'm asking, folks who's on the ground. And the committee, I would think that the committee would make the right decision in the way in which the money is spent. That's all.
Commissioner Kelly, at the end of the day, like I said, all those people gonna be at the table. And that's why they're there, to give us guidance, to give us information. We're not gonna be the one, we're gonna bring it back to you all. We gotta bring it back. So at the end of the day.
I realize that they
understand what you're
are
saying about the
advisory to
committee.
the committee, but at the same time, I'm just one commissioner, I'd like for them to be part of the committee, that's all. If you don't see it that way, then you don't.
Mhm. I understand, but like I said, we're
How
gonna
you
bring
feel
it
about
back
that?
to the committee.
Huh?
So I understand what he's saying.
Mhm.
So look at other committees
Uh-huh.
and see who they got on theirs.
So we actually had this conversation after our annual meeting in September. I think the board meeting after the annual meeting in September, and Commissioner Taylor at the time, as well as Commissioner Kelly, expressed concerns for the actual committee members. And so you all had me do research. And so in my research, I found that the committee members in, I think Halifax and Franklin, I can't remember. But I know for sure in Halifax, because I was a part of the committee, it was, of course, county staff, but it was the boots on the ground employees as well that were actually a part of the committee and not just invited to the table to have a conversation. They were a part of the decisions that were brought to the Board of County Commissioners for recommendation, because ultimately this board makes the decisions on how the money is spent. So recommendations are just that. It's just a recommendation, and they ultimately knew that the decision it lies with the Board of Commissioners.
And one lived experience. I know you need somebody on there that has.
That would, that would be,
That's key.
that is, I agree.
mean,
I do agree with that.
That's key. Well, somebody got to be on the board that has a lived experience,
Absolutely.
for real. I understand what Brahma is saying, but we need to be realistic. She don't do drugs. He ain't never done no drugs, so forth and on.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Brummer is saying that these people might think they're gonna get some of the money, but you let them know we ain't trying to give you no money. We just want you here
Right.
for your experience.
Right.
Because I ain't never picked nobody up in the ambulance
Right.
and seen them OD.
That's right.
Neither one of us has. So I understand what Brummer is saying, but let's be realistic. Like he said about the people, if I was on that side over there and I looked and it was all y'all,
Yeah.
and my son is on drugs, I would have a problem with you.
Absolutely.
That's real talk.
That's right.
Because my son was on drugs. And so it means a lot to me. And so we need to stop all this talking and get to it. Let's get to it. We ain't trying to spend no money. We trying to do something and get it done, boots on the ground.
Right.
Stop talking so much. I know you got the plan, but y'all been doing this for a long time because I've been watching. I done pulled all the paperwork. So it's just a point of sitting down together, breaking bread, if you want to call it, for people. Because while we sitting here, somebody dying right now with opioid addiction. Right now.
That's right. So what direction we want to go in?
Get back with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna get back with you.
Okay.
Just everything.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna get back with.
Okay. All right. And so I think next is Greta. Oh, you have a question? Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, and so we're supposed to receive 6.4 million total between 2022 and 2038. That's the total for Vance County.
6.4.
6.4 million. Yes, ma'am. And Greta is next with our human resources update.
So update on recruitment and staffing. We had a career fair January 23rd. I feel like it was successful. It was our first one that we've done. We had 42 candidates that attended and went through a mini interview process with the departments that were there, which included social services and the detention center. And they're the departments that got the most attention to, that we had the most to come through. The other departments that were participating was 911, Animal Services, Fire, EMS, and Maintenance, as well as the Sheriff's Office. So we have increased our recruiting efforts through any kind of social media platform that we are affiliated with. We're encouraging staff to share all of our postings with everybody. You know, we've got a recruitment incentive policy going on right now where we will reward an employee and that new employee that gets hired, they get a monetary incentive. So in all of our new employee orientations, we're boosting that so that we can get our current employees to be ambassadors for us, to go out and help us recruit. So I feel like that, as a result of increasing our advertisement on different platforms, we've increased our applications that's coming in. So our applications received since January 13th alone, I know your information has 33, but I looked as of yesterday, I updated mine to be 52, whereas you have 33. So we're seeing an influx of applications come in. Of those 33 or 52 that have come in since January 29th, we have 21 that qualified for the position that they applied for. So not everyone that comes in gets sent to the department director or the hiring manager because those people don't qualify. We've had 7 offers that have been accepted since January the 13th. So I feel like we're moving in a positive direction. We just hope that they're all keepers.
And you said about 7?
7 offers that have been extended and accepted.
Okay.
Mhm.
Missed the number. I'm sorry, it was coming in.
So the number on your 30, but since January 13th, you've got 33, but as of the 29th, we have 52 applications that have come in. Out of that 52, 21 have qualified. So I think our biggest hiring, new hires that we've hired recently, we had a new hire orientation on January the 17th, I believe it was. We had 17, must not have been the 17th, but our last new hire orientation, we had 17 hires, and that's the largest we almost couldn't accommodate in this room up here. 12 were full-time and 6 part-time. And I think the majority of those was, at least 6 or 7 of them was from the sheriff's office. So code enforcement had 2, fire had 2, 911 had 1, 5 from DSS, 1 from cooperative extension, 6 for the detention center. And in January, we've had 7 separations, 6 full-time and 1 part-time. So the other thing I wanted to kind of give an update on is the vacancies that we've got overall. So we've got a total of 380 positions that's budgeted for in our salary budget spreadsheets. The total vacancies that we have right now, not counting part-time, are 90. So we have 290 field positions out of those 380. And a little bit more detail on that is, of those, so we have 3 positions that are in the fire department that are considered frozen right now. And then we have 1 social worker position that's considered frozen at social services. Those 4 are also included in that 380.
Frozen.
I want to say it was like added on in the budget year last year, firefighter, maybe fire engineer.
Yeah, they were unfrozen.
Okay.
There were new positions that were proposed that we didn't. Funding.
Okay. Okay. So that's all I have on the first bullet up there, the recruitment staffing update. Then we move on to the classification and salary study update. So do you all have any questions first on recruiting?
Alfreda, the 21 you said qualified out of, do you all have a system that automatic kicks them out the system, or you all just look at it and kicks them out?
No, ma'am. So my staff members, I've split the departments up between the two of them. So they look at them on a daily basis to see when we get a notification that they're coming in, they look at them on a daily basis, time constraints considering. And if they minimally qualify, they send it on to to that department director.
Mhm.
Now, we don't get any applications for social services or the sheriff's people. They go straight to them, so we don't get those. The only thing we get from social services is when they've selected someone and we have to send them to the state for qualification
One
certifications.
of these, okay.
So, Greta, based on the information you changed, it looks like you had 19 applications from January 13th through the 29th.
Correct.
So what
But
do you
that-
attribute to that influx?
I truly believe it's a social media influx. So the career fair that we had, those numbers aren't included in those.
They're not.
No, sir, that's totally, I believe, based on our presence in social media that we're doing.
And we're using what, just Facebook?
LinkedIn, Facebook, anything that we can share. So we ask all new employees when they come on, and all our current people, if you would just share, like and follow Vance County Facebook page and share our openings. But we also recruit, we're using NC Works. And I think the chamber also push our vacancies out.
So I want to just speak, I'll let you do that next, but I want to speak a little bit about if the system automatically disqualifies someone. So that system does not. Now, NeoGov is designed to do so, but we will not use that that function in NeoGov because we have an equivalency statement. So a person can have education and experience, or I'm sorry, they can have the degree with the years of experience or just the years of experience, or a combination of education experience. And NeoGov will not account for the equivalency statement. So we will never use that here. Just want to make sure I make that clear.
But that can be time consuming on staff to look at those. But we work on them as we can.
Mhm.
Any other questions on recruitment? So the classification and salary study update, we are almost done with the interviews. PTRC is almost done with the interviews. They're on target to complete them. I know they're wrapping some up this week, but probably by next week. They just received our employee census on the 22nd of January, which includes everybody that was hired up through the 22nd with their position and their current salary, so that when they go to start doing that salary market study, they'll have the most recent salaries that everybody's at. February and March is when they're going to be doing their analysis of the most current data, again, which includes where somebody is assigned in their position, as well as their hire date and their current salary. And then they'll be recommending to county management coming up sometime probably late March or April.
Standing in the salary study that we're only doing salaries and we're not doing benefits.
Correct. It's
Correct.
salary and compression. No benefits, correct.
Because like Franklin County has a leave policy that's very attractive.
Mhm.
And that's not considered in what we're doing here.
It's not. That would be something that we could consider internally and bring to the Board of Commissioners. When you say leave policy, you know what? I
mean, they
I
get
can-
so many leave days and that. kind
outside of vacation and sick
outside
time?
vacation and so
Okay.
forth.
Okay,
I think Granville County probably does something similar.
okay.
And just that as far as,
Yeah.
When someone's evaluating it, it makes a
Mhm.
difference.
It does. And I've actually had conversations with internally with staff about creating some type of policy in which we honor. So if a person comes from the town of Nashville and their accrual rate for vacation at the town of Nashville was 10 hours per month or whatever number. But they have to, when they come here and start with us, that vacation accrual goes down to 7.5 hours or whatever that
Yeah,
number
yeah,
is.
just like a
So-
new hire.
So there's no room for negotiation when it comes to accrual rates. And so I would like to see us move forward with some type of leave policy or plan in which we offer vacation accruals at the amount in which that person, give them credit for the time they have in the retirement system if we can verify it. It's just a more attractive benefit package because I can't say that we have the most attractive benefits right now. And I know that we'll never be in a situation in which we're able to have a health insurance plan like Durham County because we don't have the revenue stream for that, right? And so the way our benefit plan is set up now is hybrid. So it's self-funded, but it's also a pool. So it doesn't cost us as much money as other counties spend annually in health insurance. So for example, when I was in Halifax County, they spent $7 million a year in health insurance. We pay nowhere near that, but just because we're pooled. So we don't have the revenue stream to support a Cadillac plan, health insurance plan, but we can offer other alternative benefits to new employees coming here to work for us. So
How many employees does Halifax have?
525, when I left, 525, 530. Yeah, so. Oh, birthday leave. We also want the commissioners to possibly consider birthday leave. So we'll bring that to the HR committee at some point. So, sorry, I don't want to sorry. You know, HR is my baby. I'm gonna leave you alone now though.
So, and speaking of health insurance, we are looking at a potential 20% increase in our premiums, coming up for next fiscal year. And, just to let y'all know, the Aetna transition, you know, the MIT is who we're insured under, and they transitioned from MedCost to Aetna, so that included us. We've had a few bumps in the road, especially along the prescription line. But I feel like everything is beginning to level out. We haven't had as many calls from employees. However, those calls may have been minimized. We haven't had any comments, so we don't know. Because when employees call us, we can't really call Aetna and check on anything. We can't look into a portal and check on anything. The employee has to call the concierge line or call Aetna themselves. But if it's something that they cannot get resolved, then we do get involved and we get with the league on those. But that has kind of like really leveled out a whole lot. And just a note that the wellness physical requirements that have been required in the past, the MIT has relaxed that per Aetna. They waived that for 2024. So if somebody didn't get their physical in 2024, by December 31, 2024, they won't have that health insurance fee that would have started in July of 25.
They're still paying for the physical?
Yes, 100%. Mhm.
Okay, I still got that issue.
Maybe Aetna would be a different like,
No, it's
no.
not.
Oh, okay. We'll have to handle yours one-on-one. And then the personnel policy manual update. We reviewed probably almost half of the personnel policy manual for updates that we'll be bringing back to the HR committee and then on to the full board, with hopefully implementing any changes that we do by January, by next fiscal year, beginning of next fiscal year. So we hope to have all of our revisions to you all prior to the fiscal year so that we can get that approved and going forward. And the leave thing is one of those things that we're looking at. Any questions?
When I asked the question, Sean missed something when Renee and Greta was discussing accrual. Tell me what, to make something attractive to new employees, tell me what are you considering?
Okay, so let's say, for example, if Leo was still working and you were working for Granville County, you have 20 years with Granville County and you apply to Vance County. So let's say your accrual rate for vacation time is, let's just say it's 12 hours in Granville County. When you come to Vance County, that does not transfer. The only thing that transfers is your local government retirement system dollars or service. So you would start at ground zero here with vacation accrual. So I would like to see a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners for us to allow us to negotiate that vacation accrual rate or allow that person to come in the door at the same vacation accrual rate that they had when you were in Granville County. So you don't lose out, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so because a lot of people lose their accrual rates when they come here. So, and they start at ground zero. So,
And that's to the HR committee.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a 2-minute?
Yes.
Yes. 2-minute break.
2-minute break. You.
I want to check.
Let me go on and get that phone checked.
Okay,
Just don't try to catch it.
okay.
We got about $7 million. We got about $7 million pledged.
Oh, okay.
But we have to build a new one. It's gonna be 15, 16. You sure can.
Okay, great. We need someone for the farmer's market board, one of the county commissioners. So it's John.
Oh, okay, so we gotta put that, where that go?
I think what, you gonna wait till we get.
Good, yeah, we're trying to get our new person, right,
Pretty soon.
Okay,
and we're gonna
Get that.
put somebody.
okay, great.
Look,
The
see-
next meeting's in March, so would it be
It-
possible to
it's-
have?
It's gotta be by then.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
We have to appoint by February 1st.
They said March first,
By March.
so you have somebody.
We're gonna make the new member,
About more.
the new commissioner.
If they're interested, I want them, but if I'm not.
You on the board of that new school. My daughter, I think she already applied for my birthday, so what do we just can call somebody to.
Greta,
I just want more
I might help
information.
you guys. Can
Yeah, so we're-
can I-
we're doing a
can-
session.
I call the folks or you call those down to send me
We chose us.
new ones?
What's the lady that?
No, you,
I don't know what I did.
yeah, we need to spend some money.
Cause you know, I have a primary. I don't know where I put it.
No.
Okay.
Sound like one of those.
Yes, yeah.
Got my number, right?
Then the.
252
Candace,
Mhm.
and so she can talk to you.
So this.
767 7957.
Sixth grade.
Text
But you
me
still gotta get pictures and.
Number to call. and also I guess an ID number, because I don't know that. If I don't have the card, I don't know my ID number.
Yeah.
And
That was my fault.
I'll call.
We'll have-
Okay, I'll just call and give my name. I probably my social security number that go, social security number. Cause it came, it's not my primary, so I just put it up.
Okay,
Just in
but
case.
I just needed some.
You know, I'm getting old and where I put stuff, I don't know.
This, okay, we do. Okay. You good? All right, so next is the goals.
Yes, so we received proposed goals from two commissioners, but I just want to go through your 24, 25 goals real quick that are in your packet. So the first goal that you all set last year was to locate potential land sites for a new EMS station and a new EMS substation in the northern part of the county. So I would say we can check off the new EMS substation location, land location. As far as new EMS station, we've had those conversations today. So do we want to, I'll go through these first. And so the second is renovate existing jail or construct new jail and begin process for locating funding. The third was upon completion of the fire study, determine the next steps as recommended by the Board of Commissioners. I would believe that that's still ongoing. Begin construction of Phase 1B of the county water system and offer public information and or sign-up meetings with a goal of increasing sign-ups 20% above the current level. Phase 1B has begun construction, so that goal was accomplished. And that last one on there is work with the city of Henderson to build a better relationship for services offered. And then we'll just move on to continuation goals. Begin planning and identifying opportunities for distributing and utilizing opioid settlement funds and support educational programs that seek to reduce drug dependency. And the last is retain or assist in the creation of 150 jobs and $10 million in new investment. So I would say with the new economic development project that was discussed with you all maybe 2 or 3 meetings ago, I can't remember the investment, but I don't even think it's 150 jobs, but that may get us close to accomplishing that goal for this fiscal year if it happens before June 30. So does anybody have any questions about your goals for this year? And I believe most of these will be carried on to 25, 26, and I know which ones we can identify in those. But I want to next I want to just go over the proposed goals that were submitted. So
We is in final
which one?
for most of them. We have.
I think most of them are in progress, which is good. Yes, ma'am. So proposed goals, so Commissioner Kelly submitted purchase land for EMS station, develop a plan to build an EMS station. So that's the main station, and that was the presentation that you all saw today, and you all gave us direction on that. Build an EMS substation, we've received direction for that. Reorganization of the Vance County Fire Department and Vance Rescue to the Vance County Fire and Rescue, which was submitted by Commissioner Kelly. The next is lower the Vance County tax rate and give the Vance County taxpayers a period of time to pay tax increases as a result of the 10-cent tax increase. And so I had a conversation with Jonathan, because I shared his goal with you, and he said, just make sure that they're aware that we can't forgive any taxes legally. We can't. But the Board of Commissioners, I think the policy of the tax office is to wait 2 years before starting foreclosure proceedings. And of course, taxpayers have the opportunity to set up payment plans if they're still struggling with paying their tax bill for this year.
Plan, does that take them beyond the 2 years?
I'll have to ask Portia, but I want to say yes. I think that keeps them out of foreclosure proceedings. Yes, sir. I do believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, legally, we can't forgive any taxes or, yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah, I
that
know
we
it. Just
wasn't
give them more
forgiving
time.
tax, you know.
Right, just give them more time. Yes, sir. Let's see, the next is look at state inspections to fund immediate needs, need corrections to the jail. That was Commissioner Perry, and I believe we got that direction today. Revisit a place of treatment for those with mental health as well as substance abuse disorders. That was from Commissioner Perry. And also revisit all the previous goals and not just talk about it, but let's put it into action and move forward as she stated earlier. So if you all want to work through these, and I know which ones we'll have as continuation goals, but are there any new ones that you all would like to add to your list? The plate is very full already.
Then I just want to close out what we have.
Okay,
My goal is just, we got so many open projects.
We do.
that We
we do.
are working on.
We do.
So
I
we need to
agree.
finalize.
Okay.
I mean, like the fire study, determine the next steps. That's the same goal that Leo said. He's just a little more specific about what he wants out of it.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So I
Yeah, no
mean,
problem with
so
that.
that's,
Fine.
that's consistent with what
Mhm.
we got going on.
right.
And
Well, my first two goals are taken up in what we're going, action we've taken today anyway, right?
Yep.
So that takes care of.
Take those off. Mm-hmm.
That takes care of my first two. what-
It does. Mhm.
Reorganization in terms of fire study.
Mhm.
And I'm sure we're gonna visit the tax rate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that takes care of that. And Miss Perry's goal about the jail, I believe that we took care of that today for the most part. Revisit a place of treatment for those with mental health as well as substance abuse disorders.
I do think we need, as was talked about today, we've talked about the jail, we've given them money allocated for it,
Mhm.
and there needs to be something to keep their feet to the fire.
Mhm.
We need to make sure that this happens and it's not just talked about and forgotten.
Oh, yeah, no, it won't be. It can't be.
We can't be.
It can't be, yeah. And we've been actively involved with the sheriff's office throughout this entire process. So wanted them to take the lead on it, but I told the sheriff that we were willing to assist in any way possible. So we'll definitely stay on top of it because we know we have to, because ultimately it's our facility and we'll be held responsible.
Do we
So
know-
we won't, yeah.
Do we know what kind of maintenance staff Franklin County has? What it would take to operate it?
I don't know.
It's at 4.
Oh, is it 4? Okay, okay. Okay, 4 up under the sheriff. Yeah, and the conversation I had with the sheriff is he's completely fine with relinquishing maintenance to our staff. Yes, and that's how it was in Halifax County. Maintenance staff handled anything in the jail was maintenance staff. So the jail did not have a maintenance staff. It reported to the county manager's office.
How to increase them in no kind of lot because they already on staff, right?
There's only one person right now.
And they've got fewer inmates in
I'm
Franklin
coming from my
County.
county, from us, not him.
We only have one right.
Two inmates.
Yeah, we only have,
Got fewer inmates in Franklin.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just asking, Dan said they got fewer inmates, but they got a staff of 4 to maintain the jail.
Oh, Franklin County.
I believe they're smaller than we are as far as inmates.
Okay.
They're not been real successful, I think, on the federal side right now.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the jail has one person.
But I'm saying if we use our people, it's nothing, no increase in funds because we're using our maintenance department.
No, it would be an increase in fund because we would have to hire staff. We don't,
Gotta hire.
we don't have the capacity right now.
I thought you was talking about.
No,
taking- okay.
no, we don't have the capacity. We
hire-
want that one person to fall up under the maintenance department, but we'll also,
Had to
yeah,
hire. Okay, I got
absolutely. Yeah.
That's why it'd be good to see what other jails do.
Didn't you pull some data? I think you got some, well, Pitt County is huge, but still, I think you got some. Yeah, Jeremy did some research, and got some replies back for some other counties on how their maintenance
Okay.
is set up in their jails. But I believe if we oversee it, it'll be taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so while you're looking for that, that might just be something we can share with them via email if you don't get to it quickly. I just want to make sure I don't want to leave anything out. And I'll bring these back to you all at your March meeting for approval for goals for 25, 26. Any more thoughts on any of those and adding these to the list? Adding anything additional to your list? Or are we okay with moving forward with fire study? You'd have to go to. Yeah, no. Okay. Okay, so don't worry about it. We'll email it to them. Just send it to me. Okay. Any more thoughts on that? You all okay with that moving
Yes.
forward? And I'll email those out and make sure you all okay with them before I bring it to you in March. If that's okay. Okay. All right.
Commissioner Perry says,
Yeah, we need
Don't
to,
talk
we
about
need
this
to
much.
close out some, yeah.
We do. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. Okay, so that ends the portion of the retreat agenda. The last thing on here is for you all to discuss how you all want to move forward with the District 3 vacancy, if you want
And I
to.
know we have 5 applicants, and so, we know that the Democratic Party did appoint one person, but we did put out there for application, so I want to see which way that the board would like to go concerning the, other applicants, well, all of them, since we had them to apply. I want to get the consensus of the board of what direction do we want to sit down, Dave, because for all the commissioners, we have the opportunity to talk to each candidate to fulfill that position. So I want to get an input of you all, how you want to go, because I talked to Commissioner Kelly, and he told me how, because he was appointed, when he got on board, that's how he was appointed through the Democratic Party. But they also had interviewed 5 other people. And
Mm.
so, and I know that they didn't do these with the candidate that we have.
Mhm.
So I feel like, well, this might give them, everybody, an opportunity to come before the board and present themselves and to be seen in, about the whole board.
And so, yeah, and if you all do an interview process, it would be an open
It'll be
session.
open, and I
Can't,
thought.
no
yeah.
closed session matter. I talked to Jonathan about that already, which,
like I shared with Carol, and Carol and I discussed, and she shared with me that none names have come forward, but it's her understanding nobody has,
Not
no
from the
one has been
Democratic Party
interviewed.
have.
that's
And when
correct.
I got appointed to fill someone's unexpired term and everything.
Mhm.
I went through an interview. There were 5 of us that
Okay.
went through an interview process.
Mhm.
And I have no problem with the interview process because that's what I went through. And then the Democratic Executive Committee then recommended me to the
Mhm.
board. Now, I was on the board. Dan was on the board, so I guess they voted on me. I don't know. But anyway, I was recommended to the board, so I have no problem with the interviewing process because I went through the interviewing process.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just want to be fair to all the candidates, since we did have application out there for them to fill out. And so I thought it was only fair that we give all of them the opportunity. Like you said, you went through an interview process with the Democratic Party. They have not, so that's my thought on it. So would you all like to stay or?
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, yeah, we can just do a special call meeting. And if you all want me to reach out to the Democratic Party to see what type of questions they may have asked you in 2015 to
Yes.
be able to provide that to the Board of Commissioners,
Be great.
we can do that. But, so we have 5 applicants, but according to the general statute, you have to be affiliated with the Democratic Party. We do have 1 applicant that is not affiliated to either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. So it would be
Not
yeah, I would say that that person does not qualify, right?
Yes.
So
So-
I would say you would interview 4.
Yes. I
So
agree.
if you all want to give us direction to do a special call
Yes.
meeting, okay.
Pleasure to board.
Yeah, February 28th,
So we have to have someone by then, right?
yes, or it goes to Henry.
Good morning, nobody.
Our next work session,
You all want to do February 7th, want that to be a work session on the 17th?
It's fine. I mean, yes, that'll be.
Okay. Okay, we can do that.
Yes,
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
February 17th, you available?
when is it, Carol?
The 17th.
February 17th, 2 weeks from Monday. Okay, so interviews on that day.
Mhm.
Okay, and we'll reach out to the 4. Yeah, we'll handle all that in-house.
That's the
There's
worst.
a meeting in Halifax County. It's a new, where they're doing the new administrative court thing.
They're doing new building.
Oh.
They're doing they're doing some,
New program they're starting.
oh, that's right.
That meeting.
You'll
that
be there.
Starts at 9:30, so I'm guessing you gonna do like a 4 o'clock, right?
4 o'clock, yeah,
Mhm.
because I have to get.
It would be 4 o'clock anyway,
Yeah.
because your work sessions are at 4.
Just-
Okay. So 4 o'clock on the 17th. Okay. All right, we'll arrange everything for you all.
Thank you. Yeah, he'll be able-
Yeah, I've got a thing in Halifax at 9:30 for, it's a new drug court program they're doing up there that we're looking to expand in other counties.
Mm. Is that the program that Judge Branch got started? Judge Branch, I believe, yeah, okay.
Pick another date then.
No, we'll,
I think-
we'll be back.
Okay.
It's 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
So that's it, but I
Done.
would like to thank you all
Oh.
for the hard work.
Yeah, so real quick, hold on for a second. Frankie had some information on maintenance for you all from Nash County. Sorry. Real quick, my bad. My bad.
Information for Franklin County too. As of today, Franklin County has 149 inmates in custody. 34 of them are federal inmates.
Wait a minute, say what, 400 what?
They have 149 and 34 of those are federal inmates. So Assistant Manager Jones he sent out to several different organizations asking different questions. Nash County responded back to us, and he asked about management of maintenance and custodial staff. He asked, could you advise who is responsible for overseeing the maintenance and custodial staff at your facility? Additionally, I would like to know whether their responsibility falls under a specific department or individual. The County of Nash has a maintenance division that handles maintenance issues within the county facilities. That covers all buildings, including the jail. As far as detention staff, they have access to enter work orders for issues that are found, and they have a designated officer who goes around with maintenance and handles that maintenance need. Their inmate capacity has 319 beds. They are still under the process of doing some construction on their facility.
Who has 319 beds?
Do I?
Who has 319?
Nash.
Nash.
And their facility square footage is 56,950 square feet.
The facility new or old or what?
Yeah, they had just added on a section of their detention center. So what happened is that their detention center was in disarray as well, and they had a bunch of escapees, and the commission made a decision to go ahead and build a center. That's exactly what happened.
What did it cost them?
I'm not sure what it costs, but I can find out.
The pile.
A pile.
Yeah.
So Frankie, did you say their maintenance department goes around to, what did you say about the maintenance goes around?
Their maintenance, the county maintenance, just like our county maintenance, does all of their facilities.
Okay,
They do the jail too,
yeah, okay, that's what I was.
but they have one officer in the jail
Mm-hmm,
that handles walking with the maintenance crew, making sure they get in and out safely and
Okay.
contractors and what have you. But it doesn't, just that one person, because everybody else is coming from the maintenance staff.
maintenance staff, okay.
And so just to speak a little bit about maintenance and not just necessarily about the detention center. So historically, our maintenance staff has not managed all county facilities. So the fire station has never been managed by the maintenance department. It was contracted out. And I believe animal services the same way. So my desire moving forward and my recommendation to this board is to allow maintenance staff to handle maintenance of our facilities. So when you think about adding on new positions, not only would they be responsible for the detention center, but all county buildings. And that way we know what's going on with our buildings and we're able to take care of it and let the board know what's going on. So.
Can you get us some cost numbers on that? Because right now we're contracted, correct?
Yeah, so for animal services, I think it's contracted out. I don't know what their budget line item looks like, but yeah, we can.
I think we have one individual designated to each of our buildings.
I don't
that
think,
Manages the buildings. Is
Uh,
that
we-
right?
For this
We
facility.
Like with animal services, Mr. Coker manages what repairs need to be done.
Right.
And that may be something they do themselves, or they may hire a contractor to come in and do it. Not maintenance staff. And the same thing with the fire department. Fire department has done all their maintenance themselves within house. Or if there's something bigger and they couldn't handle it, they would just get a contractor or somebody to come do it.
And that's, most fire departments do that way.
Mhm,
They do their own cleaning
Cause
and
they there.
that kind of thing, right?
but anything like maintenance, that would require like maintenance, we would like our maintenance staff to handle it. And at some point, we want to have a conversation with this board about implementing a policy about employees or county staff altering vehicles. So at some point, we're
Or
gonna,
buildings.
or buildings as well. So employees working on our buildings that are not maintenance staff. That's a concern for all of us. So we're gonna work on a policy. And it's not going to be in the personnel policy, it's going to be a county policy to include the sheriff's office as well.
There's a safety concern too, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah, so we're working on that internally. It's just, we have so many things on our list and it's hard to do everything at one time, but only thing we can do is check them away. I
Mhm.
know. So just get ready for meetings to be a little bit longer than what they normally are.
And when we say maintenance staff, we're talking about the director and one maintenance person. Everybody else is basically custodial or groundskeeper. is what we
Or
have.
security,
Yeah.
or security as well.
Security.
Yes. So it's definitely a
Different
concern for all of
groundkeeper
us.
and maintenance.
One person in maintenance.
Yes.
So I guess we gotta identify maintenance and versus a groundkeeper, because when I'm thinking about maintenance, I guess from the school perspective, you have a maintenance department to go out to all the schools and make sure if the
Yep.
water bursts,
Yep.
they need windows, that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what our
right.
one person does.
Huh?
And I guess that's more so skilled
Mhm.
guys
Yeah.
here in Vance is one maintenance skilled person for the whole county
Okay, so I guess.
versus custodians.
Okay.
I would like to see that department actually be a facilities management department rather than just maintenance department.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Once
yeah,
again,
because we have one skilled person. Yeah.
okay.
And we have four full-time custodial personnel and 2 part-time, basically groundskeepers.
Mhm.
That's the
And
staff.
groundkeepers, where they just go out and tend to grass? When you
They-
say groundkeeper, what is?
This facility
Facility.
here, they cut the grass, maintain everything here outside, trash
Outside, okay.
outside, parking lot, snow, getting snow
Okay.
off sidewalks and that stuff, make sure public gets in safely,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, I think we're done for the day and we are appreciative of your time today. I think we accomplished a lot.
You
It was
did.
a very good retreat. It was a very good retreat.
And I just want to thank all the commissioners for.
Thank you all so much.
Thoughtful discussion, and as well as the county manager and her staff. You all did a great job putting this agenda together. And I just want you to know how much we appreciate it. Thank you. It's
Can I
adjourned.
ask- Can I ask one question on the water? Just because I'm still getting a lot of questions down in my district digging.
Yeah, well, I'll let Frankie answer. That's my water expert.
We had a
Speaking to the
conversation,
words, because we can hear you.
You had some questions about water. He's been getting phone calls about water.
phone calls, because they're digging down there now.
Mhm.
And we had a conversation the other day, and I think we said that we had done the construction thing for 60 days.
That's correct.
I got to thinking, that wasn't during construction. That was a special promotion we did. There wasn't any construction going on. That was just something we did to try to get more water taps.
Okay.
Okay, but generally what we've done in the past is we've done the $125 tap for the entire construction period, and then after the construction is over, we wind it down. But the other thing is that what they're being told right now, it says an $800 fee to bore under the road. An additional $800 fee.
And I can tell you where that's coming from. I checked with EnviroLink on that. On the absolute new phase where there's no water has been, they're doing the 125, the 750 is included because the USDA is helping fund that. If it's been water past your house and you're doing a sign up now, they're charging you the bore fee because USDA is not helping do that.
Okay, and in the past, we've eaten that fee during that promotional period.
Hmm.
I just. It's on the Monday.
It's on the agenda for Monday night.
Okay.
Yes, up under the water district meeting.
I will ask one question because I actually had a phone call a little earlier. I have a lady, a citizen who has water and she is getting water on the address. And then the next road over, she's on like a corner. The next road over, we're putting new water lines in. Well, she wants to disconnect from the line she's at now and hook up to the new water line. Well, I feel like she still should have had to pay the 125 because it's gonna cost us to do it. Okay,
Why does she want to disconnect?
I don't know. It don't make no sense at all, but she does
But if she wants to spend the 125.
She's already connected. She's already connected.
already connected.
Same water.
Same water.
Well, she wants to spend 125.
She just basically wants to move her tap.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's right.
All on the-
Those water lines aren't gonna get tied together? They've got to.
You would think. Unless.
Where's the property?
She's at the end of one.
Okay,
I don't know if it's going in.
okay.
I'll tell you in right now. Okay. I just want to make sure I was right.
Thank you.
All right.
Makes the job interesting, right?